that is comprehensive for India. Manav Suthar is the star man on day 5. He bowls India to a 165-run win in the first test of their tour of Sri Lanka. And we've got Cheteshwar Pujara joining us on Cricinfo Matchday to unpack the Galle test. Puji, thank you for your time. Let's go straight to Manav Suthar. Stunning returns, 10 for, playing just his second test. Not just outboxing the Sri Lankan batters, but perhaps more impressively, even out bowling his senior spin counterparts in his own team.
Yeah, I think it was very impressive. And you also need to look at how he has come up to the Indian Test team. He has come through first class cricket. He has performed really well into first class cricket. Then he got his opportunity into the India A squad. And even there, he was performing really well. So he has learned the art of bowling with red ball. And what was impressive to see is that he hasn't played a lot of international cricket with Kookaburra ball. It was his first test match with Kookaburra ball. Despite that, the kind of control he has shown, the way he was wearing his pace. First innings, it was classical test match bowling where he was looking to flight the ball. But in the second test match, in the second innings, the way he was bowling, because there was a partnership, and after that partnership he has to change his pace. And impressive part was his speed was somewhere close to 91, 92 kilometers an hour when he picked up last 3 wickets. So he learned that on a slow pitch you have to be a little quicker, you have to bowl a little quicker through the air, even you need to change your trajectory. So he has shown a lot of maturity, and very impressed with his performance. And I hope that he is preserved in the Indian Test squad for a long time, because he's set there. He's set there to play for India for a long time. So I hope that he doesn't change his trajectory just for the white ball cricket, and we'll see him for a long, long time.
Yeah, at times it can happen with new test spinners where you go towards the IPL, your spinning style might be changed. The good thing there is that for the time being, at least Manav Suthar's IPL work happens in tandem with his test match captain, with Shubman Gill at Gujarat Titans. So hopefully the test match bowler is preserved, like you said. But on the final day, Ravindra Jadeja looked quite probing too. But what to you was the difference? Why is it that Suthar has returned with so many more wickets than Jadeja?
I think his length, also his ability to flight the ball, to take the ball above the batter's eye level, varying the pace, and his consistency in drifting the ball. When you look at it on TV, sometimes you don't notice it, but his ability to drift the ball away from the right-handers, because normally as left-arm spinners, you tend to drift the ball into the right-handers, but he has the ability, especially with the new ball, to drift it away from the right-handers. And if you haven't faced him, he can be a tricky bowler to face. So for me, I think consistency in landing the ball in the right areas, and also the ability to vary the pace, bowling little slower, giving little more air into the ball. And he has different varieties. He is willing to pitch the ball on the leg stump. Not many left arm spinners can do that. When you're someone like Ravindra Jadeja, he has a great ability, no doubt about that. But Ravindra Jadeja can't turn the ball from the leg stump. He has to pitch it on middle and off and turn it from there. But Manav Suthar, because he's willing to flight the ball, he's able to pitch the ball on leg stump. And we saw that he picked up a wicket. There was an LBW decision where DRS was taken. The ball was pitching on the leg stump and it was hitting middle and leg. So he has this ability to pitch the ball on middle and leg and still pick up a wicket.
All right, let's talk about India's third spinner. Kuldeep Yadav did get his overs on day 5 after a belated entry into the bowling attack on day 4, but he looked quite ineffective. Why do you think that was?
I think if you look at the number of overs he has bowled in the second innings, it was 11 overs. His first spell was 3 overs. Then second spell was 7 overs, and then only 1 over during day 5. So I feel he could have bowled more number of overs. His spells could have been little longer. You need to have faith in him as a captain, as a team management. You need to show a lot more confidence in his bowling, and he's the best spinner. For me, I think if you compare all 3 spinners, he has the ability to pick wickets on any track. So sometimes you may not have the best performance when it comes to picking wickets, or when you look at the figures, but you still need to show enough faith in him, and if you show that faith in him going forward, he will give you results.
Let's get a word in on the seamers, Puji, because Siraj and Prasidh between them were quietly impressive and effective. You look at their fourth innings figures, they bowled 19 overs, taken 3 for 31. That's the kind of control from seamers, which was such a vital component of the team you were part of, which even when they dominated in subcontinental conditions.
Yeah, and it makes a massive difference. Look, when you are talking about Asian conditions, spinners are bowling the majority number of overs, but you want seamers to contribute. You want a couple of important wickets from them, either with the new ball or once there is a partnership, you try and break that partnership. And that's what Siraj and Prasidh Krishna has done. Siraj, especially with the new ball, is bowling in the right areas, he's swinging the ball. But what was impressive to see is that his lengths. Majority of Siraj's length was between 6 to 8 meters, but he was using his short pitch deliveries along with that, and he picked up a wicket by bowling a short ball. But that happened when you bowl more number of deliveries in that good length region. And same with Prasidh Krishna. He's willing to pitch the ball up. He's willing to bowl somewhere close to 7 meter and sometimes even 6 meters, which is not his ideal length. His natural strength is to bowl at somewhere close to 8 to 9 meters length, back of length deliveries. But Prasidh is learning very quickly that in Asian conditions on a slow pitch, you need to pitch the ball up. And he's also willing to bowl those bouncers, especially against Dick Villa. The way he set it him up, I think it was really good. He went around the stumps. He was bowling some bouncers, and then when the time came, he came over the stumps and he picked up that wicket.
And a nice assist from Yashasvi Jaiswal too in that wicket.
Yeah, it was good to see Yashasvi Jaiswal having a chat with Dick Villa, forcing him to hit on the offside. Actually, he was telling him, "Why don't you hit him on the leg side? Why don't you hit him on the stands?" And Dick Villa actually got into that conversation, and then eventually he made some room and tried hitting that ball outside the off stump, which eventually turned up into a wicket.
Right. Your thoughts on the Sri Lankan batting? Clearly, Sonal Dinusha has looked like he played a different game to his teammates. Yeah. So, an appreciation of Dinusha from you, as well as what you felt were the problems ailing the rest of the Sri Lankan lineup.
Well, when we talk about Sonal Dinusha, the way he batted and the kind of resilience he had shown. He's just playing his fourth test match. He got 100 in the first innings, and the way he was batting in the fourth innings. I think incredible. Probably one of the best batter between the both teams, I would say, because it's not easy when you are facing spinners like Ravindra Jadeja, Manav Suthar, Kuldeep Yadav, along with Siraj and Prasidh Krishna, to show that resilience on day 5 on a pitch like that. I think he has got some talent. I hope that he carries on playing for the Sri Lankan team for a long time, because if you look at this Sri Lankan team, it's going through a transition. They are trying to find the right balance in the squad. And talking about the other batters, I think Dhananjay also batted really well. He was a bit fortunate on day 4 where he was out on a no ball in Ravindra's bowling, but he made the most of it. Both of them, Sonal and Dhananjay, build a partnership. But Sri Lanka will have to do some homework. I'm sure the other batters has learned a lesson because the way Sonal has been batting, I think he stood out for me. The way he's approaching the innings, the way he's playing his shots, he's using his sweep and reverse sweep. He's not afraid to use his feet. So he has the variety of shots and his body position and the kind of shot selection is making. I think it's spot on considering the kind of pitches they are playing on.
You brought up that no ball dismissal. I'll inform you we did follow up on the homework you gave us, and Sampath from our stats team has informed us that that was the 8th time Ravindra Jadeja has taken a wicket, but it's come off a no ball in tests. So he would have got to that 350 mark a couple of tests earlier had it not been for all these no balls.
And is it the highest by any bowler in test format?
That's a little tougher to check, but it is among the highest. I can tell you that much in the last decade.
Yeah.
All right, it gives Jadeja something to work on. It hasn't stopped him from getting to 350, which is the mark he touched over the course of this Galle test. Overall thoughts, Puji, on this first test. If you look at this victory for India, it is one that has effectively been set up by a number 3 in his third test. and a spinner playing his second test. That's something that should inspire confidence to a test setup that has had its troubles.
Yeah, definitely. And if you look at the batting performance, because bowling hasn't been a big issue for the Indian team, but it has been India's batting which hasn't clicked on a turning track, especially when we look back at some of the series which India played against New Zealand and South Africa, which has been slightly disappointing for the batters. So when you look at this batting performance, which will give a lot of confidence to the guys, because there was a good preparation before this series started, and even the execution. When you look at Devdutt Padikkal's batting, or if you talk about KL Rahul, also the way Rishabh Pant batted in the second innings, all of them are showing a lot of maturity. And if you look at the shot selection, because you're sticking to your strength, maybe a little disappointed with Shubman Gill playing that sweep shot because that's not his strength. And I'm sure the good part is he's not afraid to try it out in the middle. All the batters, Indian, especially all the Indian batters, they are working on their sweep shot, they are working on their reverse sweep. Sometimes you are bound to fail. But you still need to stick to your strength, and someone like Shubman Gill will learn that quickly because he's a quality player. So if you look at India's batting performance, it was clinical. This is what you expect from Indian batting lineup, and they will learn lessons because if you look at the second innings, Devdutt Padikkal was really good. Rishabh Pant was good, but other batters were struggling a bit. So, and they were challenged. So going forward into the second test match, you still need to continue doing that homework. You will still need to prepare well because you can't take things for granted when it comes to test cricket. And that is why I feel that looking ahead into the second test match, Indian batters will have to do their work.
All right, final question, and you can make this quick. Padikkal or Suthar, who would have been your player of the match?
I think it should be shared. Both have done their job for the team, so I will go with both of them.
Excellent. They are the two names that stand out from this first test at Galle, and that is where our coverage pauses for now. We will have the company of Cheteshwar Pujara again for the second test in Colombo, where India will hope to close out a series win. Thank you so much, Puji, for your time and your thoughts.
Thank you, Yash.